Margaret Kuhlman of Soul Astrology. So here's the new moon chart in Aries. Sun and moon flanked by Mercury at 9 degrees and Chiron at 12, very close together. The chart looks very unexciting for those who like connecting lines, the aspects, linking the different energies together. But in fact, it's extremely intense. Sun, moon and 2 planets all in one bunch in Aries. Then in Aquarius, we have Saturn with Mars and Venus very close either side. And then in Pisces, we have Jupiter about to go over Neptune. These 3 things are extremely important, each one of them. And as I put in my new moon letter, it may feel to us as if we have 3 different areas of life, 3 different places in life where things are happening that we seem to have to deal with independently of each other. That can be very useful because it means that no matter what's going on in one area, we can still deal with the other 2. But on the other hand, it's quite a tall order to make all 3 of these function at their best, at our best. I think it's one of those times to remind ourselves that as long as we do our best, our spirit requires no more, and our best is very flexible, depending on circumstances, the state of the body, mind, the state of conditions outside us, what we're dealing with. Our best is variable, so let's be gentle with ourselves. Aries, driving forward as the self, pure life energy, with no agenda except to live and grow. The beginner, every moment starting afresh. Mercury in Aries with it is the beginner's mind. And Chiron suggests, as he's leading the way there, that we are a little uncertain as to whether it's safe to just blast out. And yet what we know of Chiron is that the very woundedness that we feel, the very uncertainty, is what makes our efforts effective. Because our efforts are not to achieve great things. Our efforts are always connection. And it's by being who you are, with your vulnerabilities on show, that draws towards you the very people you can help. So be there, be vulnerable, be open. Above all, be honest. Honest with yourself. And maybe choose how much of that you reveal. But don't fool yourself. Saturn driving through Aquarius. The struggle in societal terms is how should we be organized? And Aquarius states, organize yourselves. Together, but not in each other's pockets. That is to say, not over-influenced by other people's opinions or pressure. in touch with one's own necessary structures, our own needs. It's standing over your own feet to give you a good straight spine, not leaning away or towards others. And that way, the building of society's rules and regulations will accommodate everyone. And clearly, there has to be no judgment. And either side of Saturn this month, we have Mars and Venus. Mars, how we do things, the energy that we use. And Venus, our connectedness, our love. Mars, the energy, is leaving a square that it had recently to Uranus. As Uranus rules Aquarius, this could very easily have been about our entire nervous systems, but also all electrical systems on the planet. And something happening. Sudden events. Well, there are always sudden events here and there, and we have ours for the moment, but this is not unusual. Uranus is requesting that we look at and behave towards sudden events differently from before. Do it differently. See it differently. Allow inspiration in. Don't just judge. And with the feminine and masculine sort of divided by the necessities of Saturn, this would be showing up in our relationships. The desire to be in relationship, to be warm and friendly, not too close, of course, but open and accepting, and yet not allowing anything, any pressure, or particularly perhaps old rulings, to get in the way of our action. It's as though Saturn is going forward, with Venus on one wing and Mars as the other. The wings of care and action. It's a focus of our behavior for a specific effect. In your relationships, it might be well to examine where you feel yourself to be at present in the relationship, and open your mind, open the possibilities to redrawing boundaries, and to recognizing that what do we really know of another person? Let them reveal themselves to us as they go along. And there we find the strength, the support of a good, firm relationship. And recognize that it requires that there be space between you. How you draw that is up to you and those you relate to. But don't be hidebound by how things have been before. and the Pisces. Jupiter goes over Neptune every 13 or so years. Last time they were in Aquarius in 2009. Next time they will be in Aries in 2035. Usually, because of the retrograde movement of outer planets every year, Jupiter will go over Neptune 3 times. But this year he goes over only once. And with it being Pisces, there's no boundaries. It's like this is an opportunity to see through the clouds that surround us, like a hole in the atmosphere of our daily practical life that enables us to see the enormity, the beyond enormous, infinity, turning the whole vision of life inside out. It's on the 12th of April, and at the very least, it can be very inspirational. On a spiritual level, may be very revealing in many other ways, which calls again for us to be open to new things, to seeing what we've been looking at in a totally different way, and feel the excitement of that. Jupiter is offering this to us as a growth step. So if we take his hand excitedly and take the step, then we may go far. It's like a super special surfboard on the waves. Neptune, because he dissolves definitions and boundaries, wherever Neptune is, we're often a little uncertain about what we're looking at, so it's very easy to be hoodwinked. Jupiter coming through might reveal things that you had not realized were so. Neptune is like a great angel that stirs up the surfaces, so we can't see, dust in our eyes. But if we allow ourselves to be uncertain for a period, when the dust settles, everything is different. Neptune has had a chance to reveal more layers of truth. So accept uncertainty, not to grasp too quickly at the first new offers that are made. Just include everything, let it all be there as possible until things become more certain, which they will. The full moon chart, on the other hand, has a lot going on in terms of connections. It's as though everything suddenly pulls together. It pulls together, but in a bit of an uncomfortable way, in terms of the transformation that needs to be happening, in that Sun and Moon are squaring Pluto. Pluto, who is working with Jupiter and Neptune. So the changes that we possibly see as the right way spiritually for humanity to go, suddenly we have a dilemma about how to deal with people who are suffering. But as Neptune and Jupiter sextile the North Node, so this is definitely showing us the right path for humanity, the Moon quincunxes Jupiter and Neptune, which means that our dilemma how much for me, how much for them, of the opposition of Sun and Moon, can sort itself out by recognizing that how I can help them actually does help me, because I'm also suffering what they suffer, just on a different level. It's an interesting exercise to check what it is in the physical world that's going on, and to see how that might possibly be happening to ourself, to myself, inside, on a different level. To see if the things that I am struggling with out there might actually help me to solve a problem I have in here. It's an exercise. Maybe try it out. The North Node, and where Mercury and Uranus, so more flashes of inspiration, are all in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is coming up there in Pisces, sextiling the Mercury-Uranus. Perfect. Which means really that it's love and connectedness. My feeling is that we are all being drawn towards the earth itself, recognizing that our roots are in earth, because our heads or our souls or whatever are opening out to understanding the oneness of life in total. We need to remember that our bodies are grounded. That is our ground, the body. And the way to be with the body is quiet and listening and sensitive and responsive to the body's needs. And in all of that, read earth for body. The earth feeds us, no matter what we do to her. She feeds us and houses us. Our bodies move about in accordance with our dictates, be that crazy ego stuff or selfish ego stuff, or allowing the spirit to be in charge. Still the body moves us about. It operates as a willing servant. We need to love the body without identifying ourselves with it in totality. We need to love the earth, remembering that earth is also spirit. Spirit manifesting in so many ways. The conjunction of Jupiter with Neptune is exactly sextile the North Node, and therefore I think that the 12th of April could be a good moment for tuning in, opening up, and allowing the oneness that there is, the light and the love that there is, to flow from whatever level it may through our system. Let us be conduits for the light into the earth, into the material struggles that we see. Let go of the struggle notion. Let it all be an unfolding, a working through. Trust is a key word for Neptune, because where you don't know, that's all you can do. Trust in the beauty of life and the love of spirit conjoined. Dear ones, take care not to judge. When you can see further than now, the pattern will become clear. Your speculations are fine, as long as you reject nothing of all living in this material vibration. Be guided by your own highest yearnings. You will find that they lead you well. Your hearts know love as the other half of daily living. Look in your morning mirror and love the eyes that look back at you.